In this episode, the big block is in my 78 F-150. If you're not familiar, get familiar, because if you haven't watched the other episodes, I'm going to spoil it for you in this one. So, my 78 F-150, that was my high school truck that we revived a couple years ago and got running and driving. And then the 460 that I've been building was for that truck. Getting a boss swap now. She's in. But we've got some issues. So we got a lot to catch up on this episode. So, try to watch the whole thing. If not asking a lot, maybe throw us some likes and subscribes and, comments and all that stuff. If you haven't seen the videos, we dynoed this thing last month, so go back and watch those. Where's my valve cover? Dang it. Never find anything around here. But before I forget, I wanted to say this episode is brought to you by CPR Garage. Yes, we finally have a website and merch. So I'll put it across the bottom of the screen. I'll also put a link in the description. It is www.cprgarage.com. And we have, off to the side here, I'll have a scrolling thing, hopefully. We have sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, stickers, patches, t-shirts. I think that's it. We got a couple different styles of hats. Richardson 112s, fitted hats, which they call dad hats now. Rude. Anyway, yeah. So if you don't mind, just stop by and check it out. I'm just getting started, so the goal is to get merch rolling out there. I'm really not hardly making anything on it. Everybody else involved is making the money off of it, but the goal is to get a handle on what kind of merchandise sells well and what's popular, how much I should keep in stock and sizes. And then I can also do a bulk order from that place. So I can do basically stock orders, and then I'll have it in stock. That way I can decrease my costs and increase my profit, and I will be able to, what am I trying to say? Oh, I'll be able to ship it out faster and stuff like that. So stop by and check it out. Thanks. There you are, you little booger. So, as you can see here, we got a little issue, and I thought we might. These Ford Racing valve covers, while beautiful, are insanely tall. Not sure why. They're like 5 inches tall. So, yep, I thought this might be the case, but I really hoped that it wouldn't. So last week, just went and picked up some chromies, cheap Mr. Gasket ones. But don't worry, I got a plan for them. And with that, so you got the Jeff's Bronco Graveyard motor mounts in there and everything. I am ready to pull the engine back out. Which is dumb, because I got 2 things. I got 2 weeks to get this thing done and running. But I feel like if I don't paint it now, it's never going to happen. And I am going to have to blow this thing apart for paint one day. But I want to build it in a way that I hopefully won't have to take too much apart when that happens. So, motor's coming back out for a few things. I got to put the clutch on it, paint the bell housing, all that stuff. The main thing is I'm going to pressure wash the whole frame and everything in the engine bay and paint it, so that hopefully once the motor goes back in, it doesn't have to come back out when I take it apart for paint. So real quick, I just need to, well, I can do that off the engine. Yeah, let's get her out of here. I do need to measure those valve covers and make sure they clear the roller rockers. The lock nut on the top is what sticks up the highest, so I think they should be fine because of the pent roof design, which is instead of the valve cover being flat like this, it comes out flat parallel to the top of the motor and then drops down. Which these are just like a copy of a stock valve cover. So if these fit, I'm pretty sure stock valve covers will fit these rockers also. Here we go, time lapse. You probably have a lot of questions like, why is this big block Ford green? Why is it out of the truck again? What's in it? How much power does it make? Well, I'll stick a link right up here. I think it's here or there, one of the two, for the whole build series on that engine where you can have all those questions answered. Okay, real quick. Got a tinfoil ball here. So let's get that guy off of there. Pick some rockers somewhere, right? The tallest part. And then where's the... Okay. Now I can't show you because I need both hands, but I'm going to smush this on there and then we'll check our crush. She's on there. If we pull it off and have tinfoil poking, or the studs poking through the tinfoil, we're in bad shape. Oh heck. She'll ride. Can't even hardly see the stud indent, but I'm guessing it was like right there and right there. So however thick that is, it's like a ½ inch probably. We good. I'll measure that off camera, but we good. Okay, I'm not sure how the sound is right now because I have my earbuds in, Bluetooth to the phone. So if it's bad, I'll do a really bad like Kung Fu movie dub over where the lips don't even match at all. So if you want to run EFI 460 accessories on your pre-EFI engine, which is what these Pro Comp heads are made for, this hole lines up and works great, and it's already 7/16 coarse. These two are 3/8, or maybe they're 5/16. Yeah, because I don't know. I use a 3/8 drill bit to ream them out, so I don't know what that is. You just, I don't know, okay? Anyway, tap them to 7/16 coarse thread, only as deep as they already are. And that allows you to use your bigger sized EFI brackets bolts in those. Now, there is one hole that's not drilled at all, which is here-ish, I think. And I'm not going to be an idiot and drill that. If 3 doesn't hold it, 4 never would have. And then you also need the crank and water pump pulley from an EFI motor. I've got a good used power steering pump that's low miles that I'm going to throw in there. The tensioner, that is the old alternator, external regulated one from the truck. And I just swapped the serpentine pulley on it. All the pulleys and everything seem to line up good. And here is my power steering and AC bracket and tensioner bracket, which is not going to have AC on it. So we'll do something fun with that. Here is an OBS 460 truck alternator bracket, which that old alternator fits perfectly. And there's one hole on that side that needs reamed out to 7/16. The other one already is. So I guess the carb trucks had smaller bolts in them. But anyway, if you want to do this with junkyard stuff, just take the bracket, take all the bolts also when you do. Okay, I'm going to finish tapping holes on this. We'll mock everything up and then we'll clean and paint some stuff. You going crooked? Okay, there you go. There's a rough mock-up of EFI accessory brackets on a carbureted 460. Sweet. I was just going to do the vice grip rebuild on the old steering box, you know. Psst, psst. And I still am, but I cleaned it all up and I was about to paint it, and when I tipped it upside down, the input seal was dripping. So there's an outer dust seal and an inner, and so this is the outer dust seal that goes in out like that, and then this guy goes in underneath it and a snap ring holds it in. Quick, easy way to get those out is shoot a screw into them. Definitely don't use your drill to shoot the screw right into the web of your thumb, because that is not a good time. New energy suspension bushings in the track bar, because the old ones were sloppy. The old ones already were energy suspension bushings, but that would have been 20 years ago. So I guess that's how long those last. What else? What else? Yeah, so here's those old bushings, which don't look really that bad other than they're a little rusty. And when we did a dry park check, we had play on them. So there's another 20 bucks. We're taking this thing, I mean, all the way apart over here. We got a lot of damage to fix, both crash and rust. The rust, the tin worm got in there. In there. Okay, this is old footage from last summer of me cutting out rust from the passenger side floorboard and replacing it with a floor patch. I am drilling a hole there at the corner to make it a rounded edge so that it doesn't distort as much when you weld. This is, again, old footage, but I wanted to include it in here because I'm covering sheet metal repairs and all that to get the truck ready, so I wanted to have it all in one episode. Okay, we're sort of mid-process here. Got my floor pan patch rough cut and screwed down with some self-tappers. Some people would call that done, but we're not some people. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shoot one more in over here, and then we're gonna scribe it real good from the underneath. We're gonna end up trimming it, trimming the patch panel, and then we're gonna end up trimming the floor probably here at the top. Okay, here we go. First patch panel going in. This is the passenger's floor. And you can see I've got all my holes drilled for spot welds where it laps over the inner rocker and also where it attaches to the cab mount. Primered and painted on this side. We'll worry about that side later when we paint inside the cab. And this is all cleaned up and ready to go. Cleaned in there and primered. This is just until I get the patch all laid in there, and then I'll take that out. So I'm gonna kind of get it all situated. You can see I got these cleared off from my spot welds, and we'll start burning it in there. I'm gonna set you guys up on the time lapse while I do that. Okay, here we go. That top corner right up there, don't worry about that little guy. After we get it kind of in there how we like it, we're gonna have to pull that corner up because I ended up accidentally bending it a little bit. So that'll be one we'll have to pull on and get it tack welded in place. Okay. It's what we need for now, because that'll get us the access to get that chunk out of there so that we can get our new outer rocker in there. Anyway, definitely don't try this at home. Okay, we need to move this guy 1/4 inch. Let's see what happens. Oh shit! Well, she was moving. Doesn't appear to be crushing anything, so that's good. Oh, sketchy Susie. Oh god! Oh god! No! No! This is how it ends. Oh! No! No! Be good. Oh! Don't like it. Sorta do. Oh boy! Might be good. Might not. 7/8 minus yikes. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Nope. This is fine. We'll be oh god, oh god, I can feel that. Okay, so we're right at 36 5/8, which that is a quarter. There's gonna be some spring back, so we should go a little further. Seems to be relatively happy. Ish, or sort of, but the top definitely needs to go more because it's kind of oh boy, I peed a little. Okay. I'm pushing right on this seam right here so that it should be pretty solid and not bend it, he said as he died. So we're out of throw, so yeah, you bastard, I knew you were gonna do that. So you can see how much spring back there was right there. So he wants to return to the shape that it's been in for the last few years. But I think that's right on the money at the striker. 36 5/8. Now, I had a little tricky at one point where I could put the angle square on there, and this I think should line right up with this. If this and this are in the right place, this guy is gonna need some pulling and hammering. Oh, okay. We're gonna measure, and then maybe what we'll do is just put pressure on this to hold it there and give this some tap action and see what happens. Sound good? Ready, break. Okay, so here are my two cab corners, opposite sides, but this one's from National Parts Depot. This one is from Tabco, and I got it with my old initial order of parts. Can you see the difference? Yeah, me either. Let's see how thick they are, just for you guys. Ooh, 20 gauge, that's not ideal. Let's test it here. Yeah, they're 20 gauge. Pretty sure these are the exact same thing. Okay, little update here. Here's the players. My 78 Ford F-15000, also known as the F-150. It's kind of the F1 shitty right now, unfortunately. Anyway, so I showed you some parts in the last video, and then I'll stick some pictures in here-ish of why they didn't work. Yeah, the outer rocker here, which I needed because mine was tacoed. You'll notice this isn't the one I showed in the earlier video. Yeah, that's because the ones from National Parts Depot don't fit. If you see in the pictures, it was about 3 inches too short because made for a bump side, and apparently the cab on a bump side is like 3 inches shorter front to back than a dent side. So they say it fits, it doesn't. So again, the junkyard. So I have a junkyard rocker, which they gave me the whole corner cut out, so I had to drill and grind all the spot welds. That sucked. And then the cab corner I abandoned, saving. The last I showed you, I was pushing out the cab corner here, and what I was gonna do was push it out and then hammer the upper cab corner back because it had actually like crinked over too much. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Basically, I would bend it and it would spring back. I would bend it and it would spring back. So it was also too mangled to come out nicely, I think. So what I did was I cut the whole thing off, and they don't reproduce this high up. So that's why I have a junkyard cab corner. So I've harvested all that. So here is the, and that's a lot of so's. I apologize. It just comes out my mouth. Anywho, I have this corner piece in there, just screwed in, and I have this fitted to the door. That's why I got the door back on there, and that's what my whole hang up was, because the door is too low, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't putting the cab corner on there in the wrong spot. I'm not. It's the door. So I don't know if this door is going to stay or go, but it's what's on there for now. So there's those pieces, outer rocker, inner rocker, cab corner from the junkyard that was the whole thing, cab corner replacement panel from Tabco or whoever, National Parts Depot, I can't remember. It's the same thing. And so this guy now will go all the way up to here, which I'll show you. But then the bottom of this one was actually a little rotted and mangled like they do. So I will have to use the very bottom section of that. She's getting a little Frankenstein-y, which is why the green monster engine color is appropriate. Here's something that you would hate to find out in the truck, but I found out on the dyno. Well, first of all, that freeze plug blew out. And then the back freeze plug, which I installed with sealant, as you see there, guess what? It leaked. I've already hosed it off with brake clean. Put a little reminder on there for myself. I'm gonna clean that up again, blow it out real good, and put a smear of RTV around there. That's one of those things that you think is like the rear main or the back of the intake or something, or the oil pan, and it's the frickin' freeze plug. Quality on freeze plugs is, she's down from where it used to be, so. Okay, so I know this episode was a little bit out of order, some old footage, some new. I put it together in the best way I thought that made sense and would be entertaining. So, engine stuff, checking out the engine back from the dyno, sheet metal stuff, which we are not done with yet. In the next. Okay, so we have a reasonably clean drain pan, and we are once again going to drain the oil from this engine. We're going to do a post-dyno health inspection. So we're going to drain the oil and get a look at it. We're going to take the oil filter off and cut it open. And we'll probably pull the valve covers off and check all the rockers and make sure they're still tight.
Can I zoom in a little?
If you want.
Zoom.
Oh, looks like oil.
Okay, just had to do some adjustments.
It's got a little tiny bit of a shimmer in it.
Does that sticker get those out those buttons?
Nothing that would worry me.
Okay, well, it's not exploding, so that's good.
So that's good. Man, this straight 30 weight is thick. She thick. So this was just the oil from the initial break-in and the runs on the dyno. We never actually had time to change it while we were at the dyno because of all the problems that we had with ignition systems.
No, we did not.
That wasn't really how it was supposed to go.
Whoa.
We weren't supposed to spend the whole day troubleshooting.
Squirted water all over. Was that water?
Yeah, it was water.
Ooh, styrofoam.
Alright, well, nothing I see that concerns me.
Wait, there's water in engines?
That's what cools them, son.
Oh, where is the water in engines?
It goes in here, and it circulates through the engine.
Is this the water filter?
That's the oil filter.
Oh. Isn't there a water filter?
No, there's not a water filter on engines.
Oh.
They make ones that you can like add on and put in the radiator hose.
Just tape one on?
Sure.
Weld it together one piece at a time?
Oh, you know what I bet some of that is? I bet some of that's like the Molly lube stuff.
Whoa.
Assembly lube and all that. Yeah, you don't want to run your initial oil for very long because all that stuff is good for break-in, but you don't want to run it in the long term.
Is that your motorcycle, Jack?
That orange one?
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh, cool.
We call him Orange and Black Jack.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, no pieces came out, so that's good.
Yet, anyway. Huh? What?
Yet,
What are
anyway.
you talking about? The power of yet. How was your day, Dad?
Don't know. We'll find out when I cut this oil filter open.
Why are you cutting it open? And not just using that wrenchy tool? That's totally meant to be used for that?
Oh man, this stuff is thick. Yeah, there's a little metallic flake in there, but...
Oh. Is that supposed to be there?
The only thing that's normal to still be in the engine is any kind of stuff from machining that was missed that didn't get cleaned out, which happens, or from the piston rings wearing in against the cylinder walls. Other than that, you shouldn't have anything. Nothing else should be shedding metal inside of there. Okay, we'll leave that drain for a little while and then we'll go cut it open and see what it caught. Can you push stop on there for me?
Yeah.
Something else we can do real quick is pop out all the spark plugs and have a quick look at them. Okay, there's number 8. Looks pretty happy. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, that looks happy. Nice. So our best power was with the 1-inch carb spacer. We went up 4 sizes on the jets, primary and secondary, which would be 76s and 84s, I believe. That's one of the NGK's that doesn't have nearly as much runtime on it. It's pretty white still. Yeah, that one's a little leaner. The outside cylinders usually are. I'm not terribly unhappy with that though. She run. Okay, let's have a look at our valve train real quick. We already had one side or the other of these off. Oh, nothing looks unhappy in there. Just want to make sure nothing's like eating itself or loose. Make sure none of my adjusters got loose. Pretty good. I think that guy that put this deal together, there's a little scrape mark on that one for some reason. Don't know what that's all about. Nothing concerns me there. So, let's cut open the oil filter. They make a fancy tool for this. Don't have one. It's like a big can opener. What you can do, take some kind of a pointy something and start a hole. Right? And then grab your tin snips, just jam her in there, and go to town. Oh, I cut it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime, because I used the stuff I had laying around. Hey! Hey, little buddy. You just... Oh! I mean, you basically just mangle it until she gives her up. This is probably painful to watch. Maybe I'll buy one of those. Oh, that's okay. That's how you want to play it. I mean, you guys should probably buy that tool that they make for this. And very rude. Making me look like a punk in front of my friends. I've never seen it. Okay. There's the filter element. Well, there's very, very fine glitter in there. I don't see anything alarming. This is the little spring that if your oil filter or your oil system hits max pressure, it'll bypass the oil filter. The springs are bad because once they deform, that's it. They're never coming back. Wix filters, like I use when I'm gonna be running it for more than half a day, they have like a coil spring in the bottom. I don't see anything in here. So really, really fine glitter. It's not really much to worry about. Some of the color, like the grayish color that's in this too, is like moly lube and stuff. So that doesn't concern me, but that is also why you change your oil after break-in, because otherwise you're running this through the engine for the next couple thousand miles until you change your oil. Don't do that. It probably won't really kill anything, but it'll definitely put some accelerated wear on things. But yeah, I'm happy. Nothing to worry about. That's probably just a little bit of piston ring and piston ring coating and cylinder wall stuff, which is normal. Sweet. If you're seeing anything in there that looks like aluminum or bearing material, like brass, copper, anything like that, be concerned. This looks like normal break-in from an engine with Molly piston rings. That's what that stuff looks like as it sheds off. Okay. I'm going in. Did I manage to not get any on me? That's enough for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, real quick. Here's the part that you want to watch those other episodes for first. Because we took that to the dyno in the last episode. Our home-built 460 big block Ford. Real quick, it is basically a stock short block rebuilt with 60 over Speed Pro flat top pistons. With the heads and all that stuff, it's like 9 3/4 to 1. So obviously Edelbrock RPM air gap intake, Pro Comp heads that I ported and had a valve job done on. It has a hydraulic flat tappet cam that is really mild from Cam Research in Denver, Colorado. It is a 282 intake duration, 288 exhaust, 515 intake lift, 546 exhaust lift. The duration at 50 is 215 and 226, and it's a 112 lobe separation. Very mild. Very mild. I should be happy with it in my big four-wheel drive truck with 33-inch mud tires and a lift kit. But even for that application, it definitely could have gave up some torque for some horsepower. But I told him what I was doing with it. That's the cam he spec'd. So it was a Dynamite engine dyno. And the dyno operator, Nick, said it was tight. It reads lower than most. And actually, I did a little searching on the internet, and it seems like the internet agrees that those Dynamite dynos tend to read 10 to 15% lower than other ones. And they're supposed to be really good. They're supposed to be really accurate. So anyway, all that aside, this comp made 425 horsepower at just under 5,000 RPM and 502 pound-feet of torque at like 3,400, something like that. I'll stick it in here if that's wrong, because it probably is. So our whole goal with it, we did want to make 500 horsepower. We didn't, but kind of before the whole, hey, I want to make 500 horsepower big block thing came about, we wanted to put this guy up against all the swaps everybody's doing, right? Coyotes and Godzillas are what the Ford guys are doing. So like dollars per horsepower, we did kick the ass out of those guys. So let me hit you with some specs real quick. I had about $5,500 into that engine as you see it right now. That's carb, well, the carb's not on there, but carb to oil pan, everything to make it run except headers, because, you know, headers, you're going to get your own headers for whatever if you were going to put that in that. So about $5,500, 425 horsepower, and 502 pound-feet of torque. And it didn't make like less than 400 pound-feet of torque the entire pull. So let's talk about Coyote swaps, right? So a stock Coyote, if you're going to get a used junkyard engine or whatever, anywhere from the truck engines all the way up to Gen 3 Mustang engines, they make anywhere from 360 to 460 horsepower. And they make anywhere from 390 to 420 pound-feet of torque. I mean, if you're getting a new Coyote engine, you're knocking on 10 grand no matter what you do. To have all the things you need to get it to run in the vehicle, the power steering stuff, the bracket stuff, the engine harness and computer, the transmission, using my stock transmission from this truck. So that's what the whole big block still rock thing is about. Like, don't count these guys out. They're still pretty badass in their own right. So get you a big block still rock t-shirt from the website if you agree. Oh, and so Godzilla, like the crate motors and stuff stock, they make 430 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 475 pound-feet at 4K. So this makes more torque at a lower RPM and 5 horsepower less than a Godzilla at about 600 RPM lower than the Godzilla peaks at. So missed the goal, but doesn't suck. I tell you what, it does not suck. We'll see how it is in the next episode in the truck. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that stuff. I'm going to ask you one more time, if you don't mind, stop by the CPR Garage website, link in the description. If you want to show your support of the channel or big blocks or the thin blue line or all three, there's something there for all of you. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time when this thing's running and driving. And then we got to take it on a road trip.